there are phenomenon on the spiritual path. And I heard about all the phenomenon when I was first starting on the spiritual path years ago. And a lot of those phenomenon brought me to it, you know, the psychic stuff, the mediumship, and, you know, is there life after death, and all these types of Sylvia Browne type experiences that we have. We're all looking, you know, at first. And I'm looking at a bird up there, so just so you know, I'm not actually, there's just birds landing in the trees all the time. So basically, a lot of different spiritual phenomenon drive us to the spiritual path. You know, there are a lot of different things that we don't understand from the mind that say, oh, geez, that would be neat if that was real, you know, because we've been taught to be cynics and to doubt everything. But one thing I would say, the one phenomenon that is not really talked about a lot is the spiritual cleansing phenomenon. That was the phenomenon that hit me right from left field. I had no clue about what that was, and I saw a lot of people falling for it, thinking, you know, they were going insane or something, you know. And because what would happen, I mean, for those of you that have read my book, Awakening with Aratuma, the reason why I wrote this book was to help people understand what is actually happening when they start to meditate, what's really happening when they chant mantra, what's happening, you know. And for each person, their cleanse will be different, but the cleansing phenomena is happening. Okay, so what is the cleansing phenomena? The cleansing phenomena is the discarding or letting go of what is no longer you. And it's always in the form of some type of suffering. You know, whether it's a busy mind, you know, it could be subtle suffering like that. Oh, my mind got busy, or couldn't sleep because I was thinking too much, or maybe I see things. I keep on seeing pictures in my head and I don't know what they are, you know. There's a discarding of energies or of trapped thoughts and emotions that happen, okay? But the harder stuff that for people to deal with is the emotions, you know. I just feel so depressed all the time, you know. Say a person's chanting mantra and then they start feeling more depressed than ever before. When I started chanting the Markandeya mantra, the one mantra for immortality, and years ago when I had some depression, I was like depressed at the time, and I started chanting this mantra, my depression got worse. I was like, my God, the grief is like unbelievable. You know, after chanting a few mantras, I just want to jump out a window, you know. That's something that happens because you're just dredging out all of that stuff. It's like vomiting, okay? When you vomit, you taste the food on the way out and it doesn't taste very pleasurable, but you feel much better after. That's actually what happens on the spiritual cleansing path. I don't know why it's not talked about that much. I don't know why, but that is something that is you know, very important for a person to understand, because if they don't understand it, they will think that they are actually degressing rather than progressing. You know, the minute they start actually doing fire breath or Kundalini yoga or mantra or meditation, and they start letting go of these things, and they start feeling, you know, stuff that is, and they start feeling emotional and worse, and maybe grief's coming up, maybe anxiety, you know, maybe anger. All of a sudden, you know, you get on the spiritual path and you become the biggest asshole ever. All of a sudden you're so angry all the time, you don't know what happened, right? These are all energies that are trapped inside you, and they're being let go because they are really the walls of a prison, and a wall is made up of thoughts and the energy in those thoughts. You know, and that is what we know as suffering. We'll call it like anger or anger, grief, you know, whatever. I always call it suffering because there's a big bundle of it. Boredom was the trickiest one, as I always say. That was the trickiest spiritual cleanse. I never thought boredom could be a spiritual cleanse, but it was. It was a good one. I remember one day coming home from work at the time, I was doing some sales, and it felt like I was going to die of boredom, literally. And Aratuma saw it. She was like, wow, you look like you're going to die of boredom. You know, this is all before my awakening years ago. You know, but this is what happens. You start to dredge up these things and let them go, and you feel them on the way out. So a lot of the videos, a lot of things that I talk about is that I'm basically assisting you, because as you're connecting with me, it's not really my words that are actually doing as much as the energy that I'm transmitting. Who I am connecting with you, and that is automatically creating a spiritual cleansing process where you're letting go of things. So a lot of my videos are about you seeing this context and having space between you and your suffering, so that way you can let it go. Just let it do what it's going to do, and it'll be gone, and then you're expanded, and now you're something new, more blissful and happier. Okay? So I've talked about the thought level, where, you know, you have busy thoughts, or maybe you're seeing pictures, or, you know, this sort of thing, and you're letting that go. Then I talked about the heart, where spiritual cleanse will look like emotions, you know, many different emotions, and maybe boredom, you know, the tricky one, anger, you know, all this kind of stuff. But then there's also the physical body, where you can cleanse and you can actually have pain or symptoms show up. Sometimes you chant mantra and all of a sudden, gee, your knee flares up out of nowhere and you don't know what happened. It's because you're changing the entire structure of the body. This is one thing that actually killed my bodybuilding career for a long time. Not that I'm really a bodybuilder anymore, but when I was competing and then I started on the spiritual journey, it was like my body kept on shifting and changing. One minute I had an injury, one minute I didn't have an injury, and I just couldn't lift the same weight anymore because my structure, my physical body was not the same. It started to change all the time, to become more full of light and things. But whenever you first build something, when it's first being built and put together, it's a little bit shaky. It's not quite as stable. Right? It takes a while to stabilize, okay? So it's important for you to realize that some of the physical symptoms you may be having can be, dredged up from mantra practice or meditation. And as you continue your practice, it will flow on through as well. And what we always say is that if your physical symptoms get too much, then you could just back off in your spiritual process for a bit, because that means you're getting spiritually constipated. It means that there's a possibility that you're not able to move the stuff through fast enough, People that work with a spiritual guru do so because the guru then works the stuff faster through, recycles a lot of those energies and illusions that come up for the student, you see. And that way it helps the student move through their illusions faster. So yeah, we've talked about the 3 areas of cleansing, the mind, the heart, and the body, So each area will cleanse, and if you find the cleanses are too extreme, then you just back off in your spiritual process a little bit, But this is something that will happen on your spiritual journey, and just embrace it when it does happen, because it means that you're becoming free. And what you'll notice is that at first, when the cleanse takes 2 or 3 months to go through, or 2 weeks or whatever, at some point the cycle will go faster and faster and faster, and before you know it, something that took 2 weeks to move through before all of a sudden takes 2 minutes, And there'll be a massive jump in how fast your progress goes, okay? How fast you move through these illusions, how much you discard. You'll be just discarding stuff at a faster rate. So I hope that helps you on your spiritual journey and helps you understand what it is that's going on. And thanks for watching. Oh, you're still here. Okay, so if you wish to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already, I'll put a subscribe button right here, okay? And if you wish to watch another video, I'll put a video link right here, so you can just take a look. And if you want to make sure you get the latest updates and notifications in your email when I upload a new video, what you do is just go below this video and just click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, and then right beside it there's a little gear icon. It looks like a little gear. Click on that and then check the box that says send me notifications. So I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you soon.